What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Cash Flow Chronicles. As always, I'm your host, Shawn King, and today we're going to be talking about really some things that you guys should be considering. Not just you, but people out there who are considering where they should put their money at. You know, uh, should I put it here first? Should I put it over here? Should I leave my money in this type of vehicle? What are the benefits? So I want you to think to yourself, hey, if I was going to put my money someplace, the best place I possibly could put it, what features would I want that place to have? So on this actual podcast episode, I have, if you're watching on YouTube, you're going to see a chart that we've put together. So this chart breaks down a bunch of different things to consider. So again, if you're watching, you'll see this pop up here. If not, if you're just listening, highly suggest that you head on over to YouTube because it'll be a little bit easier to check out that way. But I want to show you, I'm going to explain to you so that you can visualize in your own head what we're looking at. So imagine you've got this chart here and you've got on one side considerations and it's listing a bunch of different things here. For example, 100% principal protection, guaranteed growth, penalty-free withdrawals before 59 and a half, tax-deferred growth, a bunch of things like that. And then across the top, you have a bunch of different potential products listed that you could put your money into. So you've got infinite banking, you've got CD and money market, you've got real estate, mutual funds, 401k, 403b, 457 IRA. They all fall under the same umbrella. Stocks, Roth IRA, and 529 plan. So for this episode, I figured that we would go through and we would look at some of those considerations, some of those things that you may think to yourself, if I was going to put my money in the best possible place, what are some of the features that I would want that vehicle to have? What are those things that I'm really just not willing to give up at all? So let's take a look here. The first one, we've got 100% principal protection. Now, what that means is the money that I put in at the beginning and every time afterwards, because we add more money to these things, at least some of them you have the ability to do that. Actually, all of them, for the most part, you do. But I want that money to be protected. I never want any of that money to be at risk. 100% principal protection. So in a CD and money market, you've got 100% principal protection. Check one for CD and money market. That's a yes. In real estate, we know that you don't. You could lose that money. In mutual funds, that's also a no. 401k or any qualified plan like that, that's going to be a no. That money could go down, and it could go down very quickly. Same thing goes for stocks, Roth, IRA, and a 529 plan. The only thing or two things on this list that have 100% principal protection is going to be a CD and a money market, which I like a CD, and surprise, surprise, infinite banking. All right. Well, what's next? Number 2, we've got guaranteed growth. All right. So a CD in a money market, boom, check that box again, guaranteed growth. If you guys aren't aware, you can go down to your bank and say, hey, I want to get a CD, and they'll tell you, all right, let's see, it's 5% for 5 years, and we'll give you your money back after that, plus your 5%. Now, there's some taxes and other stuff that comes into that, and we'll talk about that here in a second, but it's guaranteed. You know exactly what it's going to do. No questions asked. So CD and money market, guaranteed growth, checkbox yes. Real estate, of course not. Mutual funds, of course not. 401k, qualified plans, definitely not. Stocks, Roth IRA, 529. No, no, no. Alrighty. Oh, wait. Infinite banking, guaranteed growth. Checkbox yes. Of course it does. Next up is penalty-free withdrawals before 59 and a half. So with a CD or a money market, it really doesn't, that's not a factor. The age thing, it's really just when that CD matures. So if you had a 5-year period, it doesn't matter if you're 30 or 70. Once that 5-year period is over, you can get access to the money. So that's kind of a break even there. There's no yes or no there. Real estate, penalty-free withdrawals before 59 and a half. Yes, you can access that before 59 and a half, penalty-free. Same thing goes for mutual funds. When it comes to qualified plans like 401k IRA, 457, 403b, that's going to be a no. You cannot access those before 59 and a half without penalties. Stocks, yes, of course. Roth IRA, that's a big no. And 529 plan. Well, if you're a grown-up, that's going to be a no. Next, oh, wait, I always forget, infinite banking. Penalty-free withdrawals before 59 and a half. Checkbox, yes. All right, tax-deferred growth. So on the CD, we do have tax-deferred growth, but that's only up until we withdraw the money. And same thing with real estate, tax-deferred growth, but only up until the property is sold. So those are kind of, again, washes there. It's not really a yes. It's not really a no. In mutual funds, we do not have tax-deferred growth. In 401ks, 403bs, any sort of qualified plan, ding, 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 yes, we do have tax-deferred growth. Stocks, we have tax-deferred growth up until they're sold. And then with your Roth IRA and your 529, those both have tax-deferred growth. Now, if we go back to the infinite banking, tax-deferred growth, that's going to be checkbox yes. So we've gone through 4 of them so far. A few of them had some yeses. The majority of them have had no's. Infinite banking is 4 for 4 on the yes boxes. All right, so tax-free withdrawals. Okay, this is a big one. So tax-free withdrawals, we got CD and money market, no. Real estate, no. Mutual funds, no. Qualified plans, no. Stocks, no. Roth IRA, yes, but only after 59 and a half. Okay, so that's kind of a wash because it's like yes, but it's also like no. And then 529 plan, also kind of a yes, but limitations, only if it's used for education. So, I mean, I guess you could kind of say yes on that one, but again, I would call those a wash for those. And then you guessed it, infinite banking, tax-free withdrawals, checkbox yes. All right, what about guaranteed interest? There's got to be some in here with guaranteed interest, right? People love guarantees. CD and money market, checkbox yes for guaranteed interest. Real estate, no. Mutual funds, no. Qualified plans, no. Stocks, no. Roth IRA, no. And 529 plan, no. Infinite banking, you guessed it. Checkbox yes for guaranteed interest. What about protection from creditors? Well, CD, real estate, mutual funds, qualified plans, stocks, Roth IRAs, and 529 plans are all no's. Infinite banking, checkbox yes. So what does this mean? Correction or protection from creditors. If somebody is trying to come after you because, let's say, something happened and you're being sued or whatever it might be, well, every single one of these things are subject to risk because they're not protected. So, you know, if you're into protection, we sure do live in a country where people get sued a whole lot. I would suggest maybe considering infinite banking because checkbox yes on protection from creditors. What about disability benefits? Well, I'm looking across this chart right now, and it looks like a no for every single one of these. Of course, except infinite banking. So if you have any, potential or future potential needs for disability benefits, which I think a lot of people will have, maybe infinite banking is something to consider. What about risk-free? Now, a lot of people start to think to themselves, hey, I want to put my money for my future away somewhere. Am I willing to risk that money? Well, I guess it depends what you're doing. Am I trying to save for retirement, or am I trying to invest just to make potentially more money? Well, if you're trying to save for retirement, wouldn't you want something that's going to be risk-free? Because saving doesn't involve risk. Saving involves saving. Investing involves risk. So if you want to get into something risky, then by all means, an investment is probably your way to go. Now, there's varying levels of risk in investments, but are we talking about investments, or are we talking about savings? Are we talking about risk, or are we talking about no risk? In this example, we're talking about something that's risk-free. So in this example, we would say CD, money market, yes, those are risk-free. No on real estate, no on mutual funds, no on 401k, IRA, any sort of qualified plan, no on stocks, no on Roth IRA. And we have it listed here as a yes on a 529 plan, but that's only if you don't put your money into any sort of investments in your 529 plan. Now, that's not common. Most people, the majority of people who have a 529 plan, are going to be putting that money into some sort of investments within their 529 plan because they want that potential growth to happen. But if they take on that risk, then of course it becomes not risk-free. So depends how you set it up, but I would say in most cases this is going to be a no, but we're going to label it a yes because technically it is risk-free. What about passes on tax-free to heirs? Oh, and of course, infinite banking is going to be a yes on the risk-free. What about passing on tax-free to your heirs? So we've got nope, and nope. That's a no for all of them. Every single one of those things is going to be no, except, of course, infinite banking. That's going to be a yes. So, tax-free to heirs, yes with infinite banking, no with everything else. What about a contribution limit? How much can I contribute, and does it have a limit? Well, you can contribute as much as you want to a CD and a money market. That's a no. When it comes to real estate, does it have a contribution limit? Sure doesn't. What about mutual funds? That's also a no. We get over here to the qualified plans like the 401k, 403b, IRA, and 457. Ding, ding, ding. Yes, you sure do have a contribution limit. They're going to max you out. Depends on who you are, what you're doing. There is going to be a max on your contribution levels. What about stocks? Of course not. No contribution limits on stocks. There are on your Roth IRA. I think it's right about $6,000, maybe a little higher now, depending how old you are. But same thing goes for the 529 plan. There are also contribution limits on your 529 plan. And for your infinite banking policy, of course, there's not contribution limits. You can put in essentially as much as you want. What about uninterrupted compounding interest? Well, I can quickly tell you that not a single one of these things has uninterrupted compounding interest. But you know what does is your infinite banking policy. I don't know, man. It's sounding pretty dang good. What about the last thing here? What about death benefit? Now, granted, some of these things, of course, you can leave behind the money that's in them to someone, a beneficiary, but it is not buying you. It does not come with an additional amount a larger sum of death benefit. For example, if you bought real estate and you pass away, that real estate doesn't pay out a larger portion. If your place was worth $400,000, it's not paying out $1.5 million in death benefit. Same thing goes for your 401k or 403b qualified plan, any sort of qualified plan that you have. It's actually going to pay out less that's in there because all of that money is tax deferred. So what you think you have in there, go ahead and get taxed on that first and then see what's left. Same thing goes for your stocks, your Roth IRA, your 529 plan, your mutual funds, your CD, and your money market. None of those things purchase you a larger death benefit to leave behind to your beneficiaries. You know what does? I know you know what does. Of course you know what does. It's infinite banking. So, when it comes down to it, my friends, my listeners, all you guys out there, when you think to yourself, I want to put my money someplace, the best possible place I can, with the most beneficial features I could come up with. Now, maybe you came up with some ones that I didn't come up with, and, we could compare those and we can see how they lay in this chart. But based off of this information that I've just given you, if that's what you want, if you want the best place to warehouse your wealth, I think you and I could both agree. And it's not me convincing you. It's not me trying to sell you on infinite banking. This is just the facts. This is everything laid out right here in front of you. If you want what's best for your money, now I'm not saying that you can't take your money and go and do every single one of these things with it after you warehouse it in your infinite banking policy, because you definitely can. And by all means, we do some of these things with our money after it touches our infinite banking policy first. But what you have to remember is once it touches that policy, it's locked in there forever. You're good to go. And not in a bad way, locked in forever, like your money's locked away in a qualified plan up until you're 59 and a half or you're penalized. Not like that. I mean, like, once the money touches that account, it's in there earning compounding interest for the rest of your life, unless you withdraw it, which we don't suggest, maybe until much later in life, if need be. But if you need access to cash, you take a loan. And that loan doesn't come from your money. That loan comes from the insurance company. So I think that's where we'll leave it, folks. And if you want to get some more information, if you feel like, hey, this guy's constantly talking about infinite banking, helping educate me, and I think it might sound like something I want to learn a little bit more about. Well, if you haven't already, head over to our website or the YouTube channel and check out our full presentation. The website is legacylifeandretirement.com, or the YouTube channel, of course. Go and check that out. The information is in the show notes. Highly suggest picking yourself up this book as I hold it up for the YouTube people, Becoming Your Own Banker. I'll probably mention this on every single podcast I do, by the lovely gentleman R. Nelson Nash, rest his soul, because that is going to teach you a lot of things that, you're probably never aware of. But I do break this book down. I try and go kind of chapter by chapter, even though they don't really have chapters. I go by what I think is a chapter in the book, and I break that down on the podcast, because some of it is a little bit hard to understand for some people, and I totally get that. It's a little bit hard to understand for me the first and the second and maybe the third time I read it. But I wanted to help you guys out and expedite your education a little faster. So I try and go through in some of these podcast episodes and break that stuff down for you. But, we're always here to talk. always here to help educate you because that's what it's all about. There is absolutely zero convincing or selling. Not here, not with us, not in this business. Because we know if you lead with education and we help you understand what infinite banking is, just like Nelson says, it is not taught, it is caught. So we can teach you a bunch of stuff, but you're going to have to catch it yourself. And when you do, it's going to be good. It's going to be good. But until then, keep listening, keep tuning in, keep hanging out, keep educating yourself. And if you like the information that you're getting, please hit that subscribe button, leave us a rating, write a review. I realized in the first couple episodes I did that. I don't know if it was me, but I think my energy might have been low. So I'm trying to pick it up for you guys because this stuff is really exciting. This shit is exciting. And that's how I feel about it. Just got back from an event out in Indianapolis, my first time in Indy. Big, infinite banking kind of training event. Focused around a few other things as well, but one of the companies that we work with, One America, brought me out. And, it was great. So we got a great team behind us. They're one of few companies that we work with that do this on a very high level. And so, highly, highly advise you reaching out, getting your questions answered, schedule a free consultation call. All the stuff we do is free. As I always say, the information is free, but the knowledge is priceless, But yeah, we look forward to hearing from you guys. And let me find my quote of the day. Ooh, here's a good one. This is by Philip Fisher, and I'll leave us on this. The stock market is filled with individuals who know the price of everything, but the value of nothing. Catch you guys next.